All right, go ahead.
Okay, so just to introduce myself for other people that see this, my full name is James Fu Torres, but everybody here calls me Fu, and most people call me Fu. And I'm the CEO and founder of Imperium Authority, which is a public relations firm. And at Imperium Authority, we specialize on helping B2B, which is business to business, and self-improvement experts that have high ticket offers increase their brand authority so they can sell those high ticket offers with ease. And with that being said, main focus that we do on like a lower ticket item is the press releases, something that we can do quick. It's where advertisement and PR meet. And the earned media, which is actually my favorite side, which is where I create a client profile and I pitch them to top publications, podcasts, or TV. And given it will be given the connections that I already have made and the preference of the client and their goals and their budget. So yeah.
Awesome.
Fantastic. I need to get your information, buddy.
Ooh, you're gonna need
Yes.
invite them to become part of your Facebook group also. So they get to see what you have to offer. And he also included the programs in the Fire Up Connect website. So take a look at what he's got in there, because you guys get the Fire Up Connect discount for going into through the Fire Up Connect. And then if you want to refer people to him, you also get the your percent as an incentive instead of a discount. So, right, Fu?
Yep.
Okay, so we all have to help each other. And remember, you guys can do the same thing. You have to apply as an affiliate, and you post your service in there that you can offer to people where you honor the discounts for the members benefit. Okay, so welcome to the Fire Up Connect. Oh my gosh, I am so fired up. I mean, the event that we had at the new school was really awesome. And James, thank you so much for supporting us and, driving all the way down from Redondo Beach and joining us. That was so awesome. What did you think about our event? Was it good?
Yeah, I thought it was really good. Met a lot of good people. It was a good crowd. It was fun. And you did a good job of kind of getting everyone up there and engaged, and gave everyone an opportunity to talk about their business. And so I thought it was all around really good.
Awesome. All right. And Jessica, you were on the live stream. What did you think about it? I know I wasn't sure if you were able to see everything, but you were there.
Yeah, so I went to, well, the plan was we were going to make our own mini hybrid event. So I was there virtually to sort of take care of people that joined us, but only one person came. So like on that front, I was still really glad to be there because I could hear some things and did see stuff, and people waved at me from time to time. But I did feel a little disconnected because until the person joined, I didn't really have anyone to interact with.
Yeah, I know. Fu didn't attend. You should have been there too, Fu. Right?
Oh, and then you guys had all of that amazing looking food, and I'm just like,
I know.
He was too busy doing his big deals.
Yeah.
Yeah, the food alone was worth it. I tell you, I really love the fried chicken from the Filipino American Culture Chamber of
That was
Commerce.
good. I tried a little bit of everything there.
Oh,
that was really good. And they had the new school had empanada and chicken wings also. And then there's a lot of wine. There's like a big bottle of wine there. So
and the cake. I didn't get to see a picture of it.
And then the cake had all our logos in it. So that was really nice for them to bring the cake. So it was good. It was a lot of variety of food. Anyway, so let's move on to our meeting. I'm gonna go ahead and talk about, let's see, what would be a good topic for us, because it is a rainy day right now. And when you have this kind of weather, what do you normally do in concentrating on your business? What do you do when you don't have people that you get to meet or you get to talk to? What do you normally do during your slow season? I'm gonna start with Paul.
Thank you. Actually, growing up in San Francisco, I love this type of weather. What I like to do in this type of weather, I know that a lot of people are inside and they have this easiness about them. So what I do, I just grab me a nice little cappuccino, sit and do something that I really enjoy to do. And it might be just reaching out to a client, and because I do work in San Francisco too, I have some business there, and I just reach out and just do a little bit more than I would usually do, because I know that people are, they're slowing down a little bit. And that's when I could turn on more of my service to them.
All right. What about you, James?
Yeah, so I actually like this weather too. I'm Paul. I'm from the Bay Area originally. Born in Berkeley, grew up in Walnut Creek in the East Bay.
Definitely right on.
One of the areas. But yeah, when it comes down to, I kind of in the same boat there. I like grabbing a cup of coffee or whatever and staying inside. I mean, it's not new for us to be inside now. We're all kind of used to that. But I think that when it's slowing down now, coming into the holidays, I'm more inclined to work. I don't have quite as many meetings, and I'm more inclined to work on projects and things that I know I need to get done. Like I'm working on a couple different versions of my PowerPoint now, like my 4-minute, my 8-minute, my 16-minute, and trying to do things like that I know I need to do, but a lot of times I put them off. So I'm trying to get a lot of those foundational things done going into the new year, and then continuing to network, because right now for me, like trying to close deals is not necessarily as important or likely as it is, unless you already have them like ready to go, as it is just to network and just keep building the relationships going into the year.
Awesome. All right. What about you, Fu? I know you're busy. You got some big deals there.
Yeah, I just got from one of my, so I work with other PR agency owners too that I met, like, through all my coaching and stuff. And because I get deals like, oh, if you get 2 deals, 3 deals, you get 1 for free, or you get like this special pricing. So what I do is, so there's no much pressure on me getting 4 deals, 6 deals, or 2 deals or whatever. I just worry about getting 1 and then get my friends to at least get 1, and then we get the deals. So that's how we've been like slinging like a lot of deals together. And I just got a text of like a screenshot of the client that went to the Forbes interview today. And he was like, oh, thanks, man, for setting this up. We had like a great conversation. So like he was saying like he had a great experience talking to the writer of Forbes that is writing his story, which, that's amazing. So just getting some good feedback.
That's awesome, Fu.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what's the question again for this part?
What do you do during the slow season, or slow, when everything is like with this weather and everything? What do you normally concentrate on?
Staying indoors for the most part, and then going to places that I can be indoors. Or if I'm gonna be outdoors, then I'm gonna go full on, just go snowboarding. That's kind of how I do it. So I like snowboarding, water related events, obviously during summer water, and then in winter snowboarding. And other than that, just indoors, trying to stay warm. And well, I went to a concert this weekend, so
Awesome.
that was pretty sick.
Okay. The word sick is now in. Okay,
Who'd you
Jessica.
see? I'm sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Paul. You were saying?
No, I was just gonna ask Fu, who'd you go see?
So it's electronic music. So it's called, the main artist was called Set's Dead.
Oh.
Weird name, I know, but the music, it's really good. So it was odd because I don't know if you guys heard about the Astro World Festival that happened. Like a couple people died and stuff. I don't know if that was big news, right? Okay. So while we were there, apparently somebody passed out. And everybody was like, hey, stop the music, stop the music. There's somebody here that like might die. And they stopped the music and he was fine. Like we got the paramedic or something. And everybody started clapping. Hey, woo. cool. And then they started the music again. And then it was like, okay, good. They got their help, right? That's good. But then this other dude and goes and gets to like the rail and like jumps around and say, hey, stop the music. There's somebody else doing something. And I think that was like too much. I don't know if he was like for real or what happened. But like they stopped the music and the music, the main artist had to go. There was like, I don't know, 10, 20 minutes maybe left. It wasn't like too much, but that was like a bittersweet end. But other than that, like the whole experience was pretty good.
I think they were afraid because of what happened at that other one, because there's going to be all sorts of lawsuits because they didn't stop playing at the other one. I think they kept going. And
Yeah, so they stopped and got the help. And you should expect, like on these festivals and raves and stuff, people pass out all the time. People like don't know how to control themselves. They drink too much. They do stupid shit. Like that's just expected. You should have a team to deal with those things, but you shouldn't stop the festival because it happened. I mean, it's expected. Anyway.
Awesome. All right, Jessica, what about you?
So I'm from upstate New York, so weather is like always a thing, and it's been raining, it's been like all kinds of things that would affect a lot. And it is true, like some people, like I generally find rainy weather to be like creativity boosting, but then there's days where it does affect my productivity and I don't feel as energized. So the days I do feel energized, similar to what some of the other guys are saying, I like it's like it gives me this extra motivation to do to reprioritize and do the more challenging projects that I haven't been prioritizing. So it's cool that James is doing like different variations of his slide deck, and Paul was saying how he's able to kind of ebb and flow with how people are more relaxed, and it can make some things. I think it helps give us a pattern interrupt to focus on some things that matter, and it's okay to use our time the best way, like continue to pivot. I know someone that when her meetings cancel, weather related or not, she still, instead of just like letting that bum her out, she just still keeps that like on her calendar and then just works on some. It's like it gave her free time. So she just keeps that in her calendar as if she still is doing the meeting and then gets other stuff done. So I think it kind of points to your perspective or anyone's perspective here. Like, you know, we all have decisions we can make of how we want to use our time. And sometimes it's a mindset thing to ebb and flow and not let it be a reason to like not move forward. But it depends, because like I said, sometimes I need that coffee or an external thing to just like help me like stay with it. And then other days I'm like, yeah, it's raining, woo! Like I'm already instantly energized by it. It's weird. So those are my 2 cents on that.
Okay. Well, I think that this is the time. It's actually a really good time to start giving some creating contents for marketing. One of the contents that I would suggest is if you can give a testimonial for someone. You could also start with Fire Up Connect. I would love to get a testimonial from you, all of you, and just do a video recording from your Zoom and say, you know, and just give me like you're telling people about what you love about Fire Up Connect. And you can do that also for other people that you work with. I think those are really good. It's a good gift, to be honest with you, for holidays. And say, hey, I have a surprise gift for you that will help your business. I think about that. That's a very creative gift that you can do for your connections. Okay. So, and then another thing is go to Google. I think I've given that COGGLE.IT. Okay. And start putting a good structure of what your plans for next year. Okay, I mean, you have this project, you have all these clients, create a good database structure or a structure where you're lining up all your projects and putting up some ideas on how you can improve your next year's business. So look at that. Those are the two things that I would recommend. Again, create video content, create a lot of good testimonials for people and for your so people will actually give the if you give them testimonials, they will also probably do that for you also, because wow, you're surprised that you have given them video testimonials, and it's a good way to collect testimonials from other people too. And then look at your profiles in social media. Look at some of the projects that you have created this year. You need to update your profile projects in LinkedIn. Like today, I just completed 3 projects, and I updated that in my LinkedIn profile. So everybody is caught up with what I completed this year. So you don't have to explain your accomplishments because everything is in there. So make sure that you do that. Marie,
That's a great idea.
URL you mentioned? Okay, so it is, let me type it. It's coggle.it. I think that's what the site is. And start playing with it. You might not know how to create it, but I think it'll be great for you to play with it and start creating, because I have, and the beauty about this is once you create your structure, your organizational, structure for your company or for your business, you can allow people to read it and they can give you their 2 cents. And it's really a good way to get feedback from people and say, hey, what do you think about this? These are my ideas for expanding this. I think those are going to be good. Okay. So maybe similar to like mind mapping year in review. Okay. Yes. Whatever works for you. This is the time where, you're looking at next year. What is your goal for next year? We talked about financial goals. Make sure that every month, if you say you want to make, $1 million next year, you need to break that down to 12 months and then break it down to weeks. And how are you going to get that money? From who and from where? You need to create a spreadsheet in Excel. If you need help on Excel, I am like I teach in college for teaching Excel. I'm very good at that. So if you need help, just let me know. But you need to create an Excel of where you're going to get this $1 million next year, and create the database, create where it's going to come from, and who's going to follow up, who's going to close the deal, those kind of things. I think that would be good for you to consider that. I'm sure James has a lot more program to help you with your sales planning and all of that. That's something that you can find out from him. And Fu with his PR program, find out what he's offering. Is that something that you can set up a budget for next year? Because what would be the ROI for that? So Fu, that's something that it would be great if you get some analytics or ROI from what you do, so people understand the value and what they can get from it.
So you just like a ballpark is, I try to make it that you get 3x the value of what you pay me in the next 60 to 90 days.
Okay, so
that's just what I do.
If you put
and that's like the minimum. Like you
Yeah.
will most likely get more than that.
But if you put that in a document that you can share to people so they can, they understand. So when they're planning their marketing for next year, they can see, this is part of the program that I need to incorporate as part of my marketing program. I think it will be good to have that for them to see. And same thing with you, Jessica. Jessica, you have a lot of offer that you can make their process efficient. What is the value for hiring you and getting you on board with what they're doing? So like I remember a good example when I was working for the hospital and I was running their decision support system. I actually they gave me a project that it takes I think over a week for one person to process the report. And when I put that together, I made it to where they're able to process it in 1 hour, because I created a very good planning to make it very efficient. So that's something, Jessica, you can do. what is the advantage of them hiring you for making their work efficient and getting more value and time for them. So think about those things. Okay.
Well, actually, what I was thinking about, because I love your spreadsheet idea, just documenting in general, because I do something similar in the sense for the business development projects that I do, and I'm working with different JVs and different partners, or who's supposed to do what. And really, it's like the thing about it is not everyone has the time or wants to commit the time for what that actually takes to document that and keep all that it's a lot of mental energy to actually have to analyze and think like that.
Yes.
So I do that as part of my service when I'm setting up deals for people and different referrals and all that. All of what you're saying is like, okay, what percentage of sales, what's the affiliate percentage, all that stuff. Like I do that just because I need to keep it straight for myself, but it's also a value I can add for someone else needing the same thing.
Jessica, it will be great if you can put this on a video recording and showing that these are the things that you do and talking to them out of, these are the things that you provide this is the outcome, this is the result, this is the value. If you can do those video contents for people to watch, so you don't have to keep explaining it to people, you can just send them a video. Hey, this is the value. This is the, I have to tell you a story. So there is an organization that I was just involved, and the people that are in the marketing department was trying to get the other employees to do their job, because they didn't know how to promote their business, because they didn't really take the time to learn what they need to know in order to promote the business. So part of the problem is, if you don't know, then create a video content that you can get from those employees to provide you, so you can sell it and promote to others. I remember when I was running the IVBCF, which is a nonprofit organization, and I have leaders, officers, and I have to promote it sometimes. And sometimes I'm the only one who's going to go into an organization and promote IVBCF. But I cannot have all these people because they're all busy and they're also working. So what I have to do is I have to create an intro video or a video content that I can play at the organization to explain what the business is about. And that's something that you guys need to have. You have to have something right away that would explain without needing someone to be there for you. Okay. So have that intro video, very powerful video. We have some resources, video production, if you guys need some help on that. I mean, I don't know how many here have looked at my mariewait.com website. Okay, check that out, mariewait.com, and look at my video. I have an intro video in there for myself, and I have to tell stories about who I am. And when people watch that, they get the gist of who I am, my character, my personality, my projects, my accomplishments. It gives them a really good idea who I am. So when they connect with me, I don't even have to explain anything to them. The only thing I hear from them is like, wow, Marie, that was awesome. Do you remember when you first met me, James? Do you remember when you, okay. So what was your impression when you were connecting with me?
That you were very responsive and, together, very focused. Those are the kind of the things that I thought about you. And you appealed to me. I liked you when I met you, and we got along well. And, I listened to what you, kind of your story and what you do. And then I was very impressed, because when I was about 10 minutes into telling you about what I'm doing, you went and you go, well, I got to introduce you to this guy right now. I think you need to meet him. And you pulled Eddie into the Zoom meeting, and I've never had anyone do that before, and so I'm all, wow, this lady is on top of things.
Okay, well, in regards to before me talking to me, well, what are the things that you guys looked at? You've looked at LinkedIn, right?
I looked at your LI profile. I looked a little bit at I do a pretty good job of profiling people before I meet with them to see what their history is. And then I might have spent a little time, not as much on your website, but I at least before I meet people, I try to get a good download off of LinkedIn. And that's why I think like what you're saying is keeping things up to date and having your LinkedIn profile represent you very well. I think a lot of people look at that, and it's so critical, not just to have the whole thing filled out, but then like your headline has to, if people only look at one thing, they got to get it out of your headline.
Yes.
And that's something I learned.
And that's something that I think, if you look at your LinkedIn, is it really like, it just makes people wow. Like today, the lady I talked to at 2:00, I haven't even talked to her, and she said, I can't wait, Marie, to talk to you. And she's just so excited because she already saw the information. And that's something that you guys have to build in your information within LinkedIn, your website. Check it out. Create an intro video that is so powerful. Use the technology. We have amazing graphic designers now and video website designers, video production.
Marie, on your LinkedIn video, I've got some videos and podcasts and things like press releases, whatever, down below. Where do you have, I didn't notice, so I'm not looking at it now. Where did you put your intro video? Did you put that down
So,
with videos
or if you go to the employees, the employers or the positions of your organization, each one, I have videos in each one. And
for each one of your job history or each one of your affiliations.
Yes. Each one of the employment history, I have videos so they understand what I did in each one. And then also on the featured videos and also on the on the projects, you got to be more specific and put your website in there or the URL that you did your project. So they get the gist of what you did. And of course, if you Google yourself also, if I say, okay, Fu, I'm going to Google Fu Torres. Can I see Fu Torres right away? Can you go ahead, Google Fu right now?
If you Google me, you'll see a lot of stuff.
So go ahead, Google Fu Torres and see what you guys think, what you guys see and what you think. This is something that, we need to really understand the feedback, not only, putting it out there, but getting feedback.
Putting them on the spot.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I like it. I'm super.
Go for it.
Like, I mean, that's my
Let's
thing.
look at
You
Fu
literally
Torres.
can write Fu Torres or James Fu Torres, and you'll see like my business, my press, my everything. So
This is the test of how effective it is on what we are doing.
yeah, that's what. And if you want to take control of that first page of Google for your name, given that you don't have the most common name,
So Fu
then
Torres,
I can help you with that.
show them on LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook right away. Okay. And then there's the web outlookindia.com.
And the
on
influencer
his,
should be there. Should be even higher. At least on my end is higher.
So he's got a very good setup here. So take a look at what he's done. Okay. So what if I go to James Watson? Okay. I see James D. Watson, American molecular biologist. Okay, so that's what's showing. And then, okay, James, I'm not seeing a lot of you here. Just, just letting you know. And let's go to
Normally
Paul.
my LinkedIn will show up, but I know that I can improve on like my SEO stuff. And I know there's some ways to do that. And I do need to work. I want to work on that.
Okay.
Plus, like Fu was just saying, yeah, okay, Fu, like we're going to have our meeting anyway. You can help me with that. But like also like, getting around the ways of a common name, James is common, Fu is not common.
Yeah.
How do you get it?
Paul, actually, Paul is looking good. He's got LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook coming out, Zillow, Visa. So you got a lot of good stuff in there, Paul. Let's go to Jessica Powers. Okay, Jessica, Marion poet. The selected poetry of Jessica Powers paperback poetry.
That might not be me.
Is that you, Jeff?
So
You're a poet?
You
check your
might
profile.
have, I don't know if it makes a difference to put my middle initial, but I usually reference myself with Jessica M. Powers.
Oh, M Powers.
Yeah.
Is it M?
Because I do a phonetic, like I empower people.
Okay. Okay, now you're showing up, but they need to really learn that you have that M in there.
Yeah.
So I think part of your SEO, you have to claim the Jessica Powers as part of your hashtags. So even if they don't put the M, they'll be able to pull your information. Okay.
Gotta
So
see who that poet is.
yeah, so that's a good way to get feedback from people and seeing how effective they have, and if you need to learn more from each other, definitely ask, how do you do it, or how do you make it more visible?
Maria, I got a question for you. And I think you do this too, but I didn't know it until after I worked with someone else, but he's doing a good job. I'm in the final stages of doing an animated video, having an animated video done, basically a 1 minute, animated, and
Yes.
he kind of worked with the script that I gave him. He's putting it together, telling a good story. I think I'm gonna really like the way it's gonna come out, but I'm just curious between, how you position that more versus like your video, because it is easy, for people to watch an animated video and it kind of captures their attention. I know we all need to do the videos too, the personal videos, but I just want to know your thoughts on that.
It just depends on how you want to promote it and where you want to use it. So I have done animated videos for like landing page because I try to attract people that are into just wanting to look at websites and landing pages. So I would do animated, but sometimes I would put it in social media just to create branding. But the people that are doing the video testimonials, those are more effective than anything because it gives a lot of credibility and a lot of more, it increase the level of trust. And that's what you want. When people feel like, okay, yeah, this guy's vouching for this lady, and so I think I'm good with that. I'm gonna go ahead and contact. And so that's
There's
the
no
whole
better
point.
sales pitch. There's no better
Yeah.
sales pitch than
It's
someone
good to have that. Like when I was working with this developer from Orange County, one of his video content is a testimonial from the mayor. So I felt good when I had okay, if you have a testimonial from the mayor, I think you are legit. I would, definitely consider working with you. And that's something gives me peace in of mind that this guy was vouched by a mayor. So those are good to have, especially for you, Paul, if you can get your city officials to say, yeah, we work with Paul and this is who he is and this is what he's doing for our city. That will be powerful for you, and you won't have any people that will be doubting in giving you, the funding or an investment that you need for your projects. Same thing with you, James. If you have clients that really understand how you work for, I think that would be awesome. And their words. I had a testimonial from the city of Temecula Economic Development Manager, and I just asked her, can you give me a video testimonial? And she just did it right away, just like that, because she knows me. She knows how I work. And that video gave me a lot of power.
I think I need to go back. I've got a zillion written testimonials, but people don't want to read testimonials and they're not as impactful. But I think I got to go circle back those some of the people that are really kind of powerful people, important people, and ask them to do the video, a brief video testimonial.
Yes. The video testimonial is a lot better. I've seen so many written testimonial, but if you can put a video testimonial, that would be perfect. Jessica, you have worked with powerful women. You need to get those testimonials from them, for how you are. That would be good for you because, I know you, and I think it'd be great for you to have that kind of testimonial. Fu, I'm sure some of your clients, you got to get them, especially after doing the Forbes and giving them that opportunity. Right away, you need to get a testimonial from them right after. I say, can you give me a testimonial after this? Because they're going to forget about it and you're going to forget about it. You need to make sure.
No, I won't. At least some clients, yeah, I will. But I am already building some so I have 4 testimonials already, video testimonials, and I have I just got 5 new Google reviews today. The other thing, it would be that are really missing. I need to have at least 3 solid case studies. I'm building them right now with my clients.
Okay.
It's just not that easy.
Okay.
Just
all right.
tracking everything.
Here's what we're gonna do. As the last part of our meeting, I wanted to get each one of you to give me your first your impression for each one of you. So this is actually a good feedback for all of us. Okay. So I would like for Jessica to start. Tell me what you think about Paul, James, and Fu.
I was typing a question. Are case studies Are case studies sort of the same as a testimonial, or you can give a testimonial for someone even if you haven't worked with them? Before I answer that question.
I don't know. I mean, depends on what
Yes.
how Fu is creating that case study. Maybe you can have a one-on-one meeting with him about that. But let me ask you, what is your impression, or what do you think about Paul, James, or Fu?
Yeah, so I'll start with Paul. So Paul is really attentive and really present when you have a meeting with him. He's really good about making sure you have undivided full attention. And he's really good at just matching the conversation and the pace of the conversation. So I really have appreciated that with meetings that we've had. James Watson, we have met, but it's been a minute, so I honestly can't remember too many details without going back to my notes to remember my impression, but I do remember that you made it feel really easy to talk to you. You're really approachable. You like to give. You're really eager to help and give input of how to help and finding things we have in common. So I remembered we both had personal stuff that we were able to build rapport around, and that always makes it really easy for me when I'm having calls like that. And then Fu, love his energy. He's so energetic and fun and creative. So when we had our first call, what I resonated with right away is how community centric he is, because not just with this Facebook group he mentioned today, but he has the intention of more of like not just like a client base, but a community centric place to support other creators and creatives. So I resonated with that and wanting to partner in some way to grow that community, because we need each other. And he's got a lot of ideas that you're not always thinking about. And sometimes you need people who can see things you can't see. So I appreciate that about him.
Awesome.
And then for Marie, I'm half joking, but if you really want me to say something.
All right, go for it.
Okay, so Marie, the way we met was unconventional, because we both were invited to this event in Coronado, but you didn't make it to the event. So I stalked your profiles and all that and reached out to you, and then eventually we got a meeting. But I remember thinking like, oh wow, she's really polished and really put together. This is a faith-based meeting, so I hope she's nice. I hope she takes me seriously, basically, because I'm way out of my comfort zone coming to bougie Coronado, and I had to drive over the bridge to get there. So I just remember like looking around the group, and although you weren't there, I was like making notes of who to follow up with after. And I was like, if she's a part of this group in this part of San Diego, well, I guess I'm just gonna put myself out there, and I did. So how we eventually met was when Fire Up Connect was at Mimi's Cafe or something, and I felt really respected. I felt like you took me seriously, even though I was really like new to what I was doing with virtual assistant stuff. You gave me chances on stuff to work together, and we've stayed in touch ever since. So there you go.
Awesome. And I always see your talent, Jessica. You're very passionate. Okay, let's move on to Fu. Fu, what do you think about James, Paul, and Jessica?
I guess I'll start with Jessica, because it's the one that I know the most. So I think she has a great quality that I like, which is building. She aims to build a genuine connection before anything else, which is something that is on a new approach that I've been taking with people, and it's been working great. Like it's something about, there's one thing about like referring people and connecting people, but it's another thing making sure that these people are genuine and truly a right fit. So she goes a lot deeper on that, so I like that. And I like like she said about me, like that community building and stuff, helping each other out. That's cool. I'm a people person too. And for For James Watson, we have our one-on-one, and I think, you know, we were on the same page on a lot of things, and so I like his personality for sure. I don't know much about his work outside, you know, but for as a person, I can tell that he has a great personality, great drive. She's always out there trying new things and, you know, making improvements. I have no doubt that he'll be like super successful. It's just a matter of figuring it out, his stuff. And for Paul, we haven't had a one-on-one. And for what I've seen, I mean, he seems like super professional and focused and doing big things. So that's cool. I think that it's a great quality. He has like a good drive. So, and then for Marie, I think that you're relentless, which is cool. I like it that you're like always like on top of like, oh, let's do this, let's make things happen, let's like get connected, let's actually, you know, accountability, all that stuff. Like, I like that. And I like the connections that you have and how you manage to get people together to help each other out and really just have a good time. So that's this is a good community in my opinion. So you've done good on there, and I have no doubt that this is just the beginning and it will just get better and better with more things, you know, TV, radio, all this stuff. And as I keep getting more involved and get more help from my company, I'll also, I know that we'll do a lot of projects.
That
I
would
have
be
no doubt of that.
awesome. I want to make sure everybody's famous. Okay. James, what do you think?
I think you're relentless and ruthless. No, I'm kidding. In a good way. No, I've already talked about you a lot. I can always sing your praises. I think you're great. I'll start with James Fu. I kind of echo what he was saying. You know, I'm still learning more about what he does, and I think he's learning more about what I do. And I think that we could have ways to work together. And I do want to have another meeting with you, Fu. You know, to talk like going into next year about some things that maybe you can help me with the work that you do, and then, you know, let you learn a little bit more about what I do, and, you know, where that fits into, you know, your ecosystem, kind of who you work with. But I had the same impression of him, you know, that he's very focused, very driven. You know, you listen to him, you know, he's still in this meeting, even though he's got stuff he's trying to close and he's doing business. But that's good, you know, that when someone does that, because a lot of people don't have stuff going on and they still don't make meetings. So I always appreciate people that are consistent, you know, in when they become part of a group. Paul, you know, seems like a great guy. I just reached out to him on LinkedIn, see if we could set something up. I don't know Paul very well, but just on, you know, first impressions are good, and I've looked forward to talking to him. Jessica, we have had our conversation, and, you know, same thing with you. I think we had some things that we went off on that weren't necessarily business related, but just that we had in common. And so we had a pretty long conversation, actually. And so we kind of hit it off and got along well. And I, you know, would like to, just like with Fu, I'd like to, you know, next time maybe, you know, we you know, get more into the weeds on the business side of it, and how can we corroborate and collaborate and help one another out.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Paul, your turn.
Well, you know, I really don't know all of you well enough to really give a great honest opinion. So the only thing I could say is definitely I really look forward to these meetings. But just from what I've noticed is we draw connections from probably people we've already known. So to me, that's how I'm relating to you guys. Definitely Jessica, she reminds me so much of my sweet niece in her personality. She got the same type of hair as Jessica. I've told her this before, and my little precious niece is such a great girl. So I echo what Fu mentioned about Jessica. The moment that I spoke with her, not only did I have this impression about her with my niece, but she's very personable, to her, relationships are very important. Hence, just like my niece, she's such a sweetie. And so I really appreciate that you, Jessica. It seems like you don't give up on your relationships. And and I apologize that I don't get back to you like I should, and that's a problem that I need to work on. I totally get it. As far as food, you remind me of a good friend of actually my IT guy, and he's a good friend of mine, where you guys are, and I see this, and I hope you take this as a compliment, very one-dimensional in the sense that you don't really like to multitask. You have a focus and you're in it and you do a good job of that. And that's the impression you're giving of me. So I hope that I'm right. And that's good. I mean, we need people like that. And James, that you mentioned that you're from the Bay Area, Walnut Creek. That was one of my first places that I had an apartment when I was growing up, and still have family out there. And actually I had a house out in Pleasant Hill. And I love that area. My sister lives out there. And so between San Francisco and Central Contra Costa has always been places that I like to, well, that's where I used to live. You know, they call Walnut Creek Little San Francisco. And so definitely I want to connect with you, and that you have the sales catapult. I love flying, not that I'm a pilot, but I love taking trips. I want to know more about your business, and I love that scene back there. I could just imagine if that's a view of something, and I love that environment of corporate, you know, surrounding. I love being in a building and just looking at great views. Marie, what can I say? You remind me of just a go-getter, someone that like who said it? I think, was it, yeah, Fu, relentless. You're very good at connecting people. You remind me of one of my cousins. I think your hair basically I don't know what I have with this hair thing, but another cousin of mine. So I don't know. I'm just, you know, so I really love that familyness about you. And then two, that I'm for my religious thing, I help out in the Tagalog congregation, and I love language. And this is another say congregation that I'm helping in, where I've helped in the Spanish speaking and the Russian, and now I'm in the Tagalog. So anyway.
Okay, well, thank you. I know,
No problem.
James, you have a couple of minutes. How did you feel about this meeting? Was it good for you? Fu, I'm sorry, Fu.
Okay, I was.
It was good. Yeah, it was good. And the main thing that I like is just given that the focus is making meaningful connections for me, like this type of stuff is really where you really do like those type of connections. And yeah, that's what I like. It's a consistency, right? Like it's just here, like I can just hop in, like I have it on my calendar. Like I try to make it and just, oh, see familiar faces. They see me, like now, you know, you see the consistency, and it can help for like, you know, be advocates of each other, because we see each other all the time. So we know, we trust each other now. It's not like, oh yeah, like that guy looked cool, but I don't know. It's more like, look, I know I see him all the time doing over 30K deals and still showing up here and blah, 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 like those type of stuff. But yeah, so I gotta go, but this was great. I'll see you in the next one. Okay?
Well, Fu, before you go, just understand that there's still a lot of work in terms of the relationship. So definitely you want to spend more time with them, okay? And talking on one-on-one. All right?
Mhm.
Okay, thank you, Fu.
See ya.
Bye.
Hey, Fu.
And then for you, James, how did you feel about this meeting? Because, you know, again, it looks like it was good feedback from you.
Yeah, I thought it was good. And I think you kind of like, we're drilling down a little more into the personal side, you know, and personality side, and as opposed to just business. And so I like that, like hitting that. And that's something that I was talking to someone else about it, that actually I want to introduce you to, but I'm going to do that separately because she's a lot like you, and she runs an organization, but just kind of stepped down from it, but runs her own company. But, you know, what I'm finding is that this is a much more intimate setting. And even though, you know, it's a slower burn, but I'm getting more and more involved in smaller groups, and I still have like the bigger groups, but I have a feeling that, you know, like the provisors, but you're more of a number at a provisors. And it's not like you go into a meeting and there's 30, 40 people. And there's some benefit to that because maybe you meet some new people, but I could see once I really get myself established and being a year down the line, I see myself more being a part of groups like this, and even forming some of my own, networking groups that are intimate and close, and people you really trust. And you don't need to have 1 million people. You want to have maybe, whatever, maybe 15 really truly trusted people that you always are, that are in your system, whatever, that you have a common goal and common clients, then really working closely with them, knowing them well enough that you really can recommend them. And so I see myself kind of shotgunning a little bit in this next year, and I'm part of a lot of groups, but I'm going to be scaling that back and really focusing more on the quality of the relationships, especially as I, get clients on board.
Yeah, okay, that will help also.
Fantastic. Wow.
Okay, Paul, what about you?
About what we talked about, how did I like?
How did you feel about this meeting?
Oh, I really like it because, I am a people person, but sometimes I get my personality or my persona is that I think so big of a picture that sometimes I lose connection to the smaller important blocks of building what I'm trying to do. So this right here, and my mom used to tell me, my sister, I mean, everyone that knows me, but they would sometimes think, you're thinking too big, start here, but you can't really, how should I say this? Of course, we need to work on those things, but we should never give up on who we really are, stay true to ourselves, right? And so I'm a big picture guy. I can't help it. I mean, I try to do the little things, but I just come apart, so this is really helping me to really, okay, you're a big picture guy, but this is great. So these little meetings with you guys are so powerful. You guys are just powerful atoms that in just this little meeting. So this to me is fulfilling. In other words, it's not like I'm wasting my time with a little meeting. This is a big, powerful little meeting. Does that make sense?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic.
And after Jessica speaks, I'm gonna share you what I think about this whole thing. Okay, Jessica, it's your turn.
For today's meeting, I liked the masterminding topic about, because slower days and rainy days, weather days or whatever, they happen to all of us. So I liked how it was a good check-in of different approaches of how people would do it, because it's not always that obvious. So it was cool to hear the different projects. And then I was making notes like, oh, okay, like little things I can pick up on and like just move the dial a little bit for myself. And then all these little things can like be like a monkey on your back, because like until it gets checked off the box, it's like more energy for my brain to be thinking about. So that's what I appreciated, was the getting, and then I'm an affirmations girl. So going around doing our mini testimonials for each other, I was like, yay, it's my turn. So I really appreciated that. And then in general, it's like Fu was saying, and James, like, I think it really is about the intentionality of where you commit your time. I was on a call recently where the quote was, our attention is the new currency. So I've been thinking about that ever since, like what I'm committing my time to and where, because it's the noise and all kinds of things with the world opening up, it's only going to get more. So I think this is a very anchoring meeting, or it has been for me. And I like I like how Paul called it the little big meeting. I think that's the new catchphrase. Little big meeting. Love it.
All right. Well, I think that while James was talking to Fu, I saw some big projects or programs that can be developed from that meeting. And Paul and James, I think you guys are going to discover something, a very good project to work with, and really embrace the connection that you have, how you can put it all together. I mean, Paul is working on millions of projects, James. So just so you know, I mean, if you really understand what Paul has, I think that will, it's going to trigger a lot of things for you, because that's what I got.
I agree. And, you know, I've got my background is in commercial real estate, you know, data and online marketplaces. So, you know, I'll talk to you about all that, Paul, but we've got a lot of common ground, I think, that will help out with because of my background.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And
I connected with you already too.
And
James.
Paul, just so you know,
Mhm.
James was one of the people that made this company into a $1 billion company. Okay.
Which company?
CoStar Group.
CoStar.
CoStar.
It's commercial real estate data that we bought LoopNet, and we bought apartments.com when I was there.
Of course. Oh my goodness. Wow.
Okay, so I'm
Wow.
telling you what
I was there for 18 years.
yeah.
Well, LoopNet didn't, who bought LoopNet? Didn't it? Wasn't it?
We did. CoStar did.
CoStar, that's right. Yeah. So
And
you're
it-
working for
and
CoStar?
what's that?
Are you working still with CoStar?
No, but
Okay.
I left there 3 years ago. But I had been there 18 years and held a lot of different roles, mostly leadership roles. And
Oh my goodness.
I was there when we
Got it.
bought apartments.com, and, you know, the whole Jeff Goldblum, like, he's a spokesperson. He was at our conference when they announced him. Really cool guy.
I remember when they bought LoopNet, that was a huge move.
It was
Oh
a
my
$1 billion.
goodness.
It was a $1 billion acquisition, and then apartments.com was 600 million.
Oh my
So,
goodness.
Paul,
Yes.
you see that there's a gold mine here. Okay.
Yeah. And then that we're from the Bay Area. This is fantastic.
Yeah, so this is why
Oh.
we wanted to make sure that you get to know each other in a more personal level, and then
Mhm.
get to really understand how powerful this collaboration can be. Sometimes people do not see it, you know, even though you've been in several meetings and you still haven't connected. I really need to make this happen for you guys, understand the value of what your presence here and being together. So create this magic, okay? That's what you guys need to do. Create the magical experience. And then later on, you can say, oh my gosh, I am so glad I met with you, because now we are so rich. You know, that's
Well,
So-
you know, it's funny is it's like, and I think you were kind of talk about it, Paul, and you everyone was referencing it, like the little big meeting, but I think that a lot of people, especially with the bigger groups, and you can do it, but I think everyone feels compelled because it's a big group that they've got to meet 20 people. It's like, no, if you make one really good connection and get to know someone really well, that's more important. And I think a lot of people just go into the networking and just go all over the place, but they're collecting cards and they're just meeting people at a you know, surface level, and then moving on, and they're never really getting to know someone. They're presuming because someone has a certain title or whatever that they're omitting that person, and they're maybe putting too much stock into a person because of another title they have or what they do, when they haven't gotten to know someone really well, if
well,
that makes sense.
sometimes too, James, even though that they heard part of the accomplishments, they still don't, it doesn't click to them that they are connected, that they can
Right.
create something
Right.
together.
Because
And
they don't really, well, they don't know you. They don't know you. And then unless they get to know you, or unless someone is vouching for you, like with those testimonials, which is why I guess why that's a way to kind of shortcut that, you know, is to get, you know, if you have the mayor giving you a testimonial, you know, you got instant credit.
Yeah, exactly. And
Yeah,
then
I know that. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
go ahead, Paul, go ahead.
No, speaking of which, because when you guys mentioned the mayor, I met with him, I mean, first name basis, but I know that out here, they're so conservative. And now that he's running again for his term, he made it very clear to me that, Paul, yeah, if you could invite me to any of your meetings, but remember, I have to keep everything, you know, non-biased, and I can't, you know, do certain things. But, you know, I just have to chip away at that, because I've done a lot for this city, in the sense to try to, you know, root for this city. So I'm gonna have to see. what I can do.
You know, that's free. If he's running, campaigning, that's free publicity for him, you know, because if he gives you a testimonial, that's putting him out there too, because he's going to be talking about how you helped him, and, you know, but that's a free promotion for him.
I think, you know what, now that we mention this, I think so big of something that I spend a lot of money, and through 1, 2, you know, 3 years that you start to see, you're talking to your CPA and your accountant, that there's a lot of money going out. So you're wanting, you know, some people to get in. And so that's where I'm having a bit of an issue where, you know, I can't keep doing this. I really do need to start to funnel my you know, my focus in where is it that I'm going to invest in that we're going to get a return. And it's not, I don't think it's a selfish thing right now. It's you know, you could talk to your blue in the face, but there comes a time where you need to have people get involved in this. So that means that I need to do something that's going to really hook people, you know, to see the value in this. And I think you guys are helping me to see how I'm going to make some connections. And
well, we're already past 11 minutes, and I have another event that I gotta go to. Jessica, definitely there's a lot of opportunity for you to work with James and Paul. So make sure that, you know, they understand how you know, find the ways that you can help them make it efficient for them, because I know that's your skill. So and utilize Jessica, because Jessica is so focused and she is so has really creative ways of connecting the right people for you. But you do need to communicate that to her so she understands how she can get it for you. She is a go-getter. You find her very sweet, but she is a go-getter, and that's why I like her style.
like my niece, I'm telling you.
So just keep that in mind.
So
I
she's
mean,
saying
yeah,
you're
exactly.
a wolf in sheep's clothing. You're relentless.
Yeah.
You just don't show it.
It's,
Anyway, well,
yeah,
thank you so much.
thank you for the compliment. Yes, I will be following up. Thank you, Marie, for the call today, and we'll be following up on some stuff too. I really like the way these calls have been going, especially for the end of the year, like thinking year in review, what's working, what's not working. And most of the time, we should be leaving these calls feeling empowered to like take action on something. So although we didn't do the business share time and the, you know, what we're working on and stuff, like I know it was impactful. I think I speak for all of us when I say it was an impactful meeting. So
Well, we can all set up. I know Paul and I are going to connect, and I'd love to connect you again,
Yeah,
Jessica,
yeah,
to do a
definitely.
deeper dive. So that's my action item. I think we should all try to.
Yes,
okay,
definitely.
thank you everybody. See
here.
you maybe
Yes,
on
thank you. It was
Thank you.
an awesome meeting.
At the end of this year, make sure that you guys have already collaborated, that you have already tasked for next year, that by the end of next year, we should have completed all of those. Okay, and I want to make sure that there's a lot of numbers that is involved with that. And we're all gonna have like a celebration on a cruise or something.
That would be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
I'll be on a plane
Rio
soon, hopefully.
And have a blast at Rio Rancho.
You know what I'm really liking though, before we leave, is that this little group that we have, what I'm liking so much is that you guys are all from, you know, big city. You got that big city thought. And so that's really what I'm needing here. And so I really appreciate, Marie, that you are trying to make the connection. So even though I'm rooting for Rio Rancho, I can't forget where I'm from, you know, and now that you guys are from the West Coast, East Coast, I need to continue to collaborate with you
We'll
guys.
make it happen. We'll make it happen, Paul.
Fantastic.
You and
Thank
me
you.
both. I'm in upstate New York right now, and yeah, they need this mindset too. So,
Right, so our
In a
next,
good way, right?
yeah.
we believe our next meeting is this Friday, and we are still get more people. I think, you know, max it with more connection. All right,
Bye.
sounds good.
Bye, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.